Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. If you are new, welcome, and if you're not new, thank you so much for coming back for another video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the Natasha Denona Bronze Collection. Yay! I've got the eyeshadow palette right here. I have the bronze cheek palette, and then I also have the lip glosses coming. They are in the mail. So this video is going to be recorded over a couple of days, even though I did place these orders pretty close together. Lip gloss was to be here in a couple days, but you will see them at some point in this video. So if you want to see my first impression, a couple of looks with the eyeshadow palette, and you know, my thoughts on the overall release, then definitely stay tuned. Here we go. So this is a look at the palette in natural sunlight, the shades. So looks like we've got a couple decent, you know, nice, you know, amount of transition shades, a couple shades that will look nice in the outer V, and then a plethora of beautiful, like, you know, glittery shades, metallic shades for the eyelids. All right, so let's get into an eye look. I'm gonna prime my eyes with my NYX primer and then my ABH primer as well. Okay guys, I finally figured out how to zoom, so so I'm gonna zoom you guys in for this you know, eye look. So I'm gonna go into, let's see what shade here. I'm gonna go into Sundown. Sundown is this shade there. A lot of fallout. Yeah, it's a lot of fallout. So this is going on a little darker than I had anticipated. You know, orangey. It looks pretty orange. Right in front of, above my inner corner, and blending that up into the rest of the transition area. And then just sweeping that out here. Anything left. The next shadow I'm going to go in with is Magma right there. And I'm going with a Sonia G Worker Pro. And putting that in the crease. Oh, that's a nice shade. Nothing additional on this Wayne Goss brush. I'm just going over the edges of that Magma shade that I just laid down to blend out. I want to try this High Degree shade, the one that's right next to Magma, the shimmer. What kind of shade is that? That is a metallic, which is what I thought it was. So I want to take that into the crease too. It looks like it's going to have a little bit of a redness to it. It does. Yeah. Oops. And then I'm just kind of blowing this out a bit more. Alright, so I wanted to spray my brush and go into a duochrome, but I don't have my spray here with me, so I'm going to just use my glitter glue like I usually do anyways. I'm just going to go with my finger into Rhodium, which is this nice purple duochrome shade there. I'll put this all over the lid. It's like a brown kind of shade with like a purple type of shift to it. It's really pretty. It's an interesting shade. I'll put swatches and things like that, of course, you know, later on in the video. All right, there's only one chroma crystal shade in here, which was kind of surprising. It's this True Bronze. I'm gonna take this color and pop that in the middle for like a halo. Okay, that gives that such a pretty shine. It gives it a beautiful shine. Okay. To intensify the outer corner a bit more, because when I put the red, that high degree shade in, it kind of, you know, it brightened it, gave it a little more red of a tone versus before it was a little darker. So I want to add some depth there, so I'm going to go into deep dive there. This is the only cream to powder shade in this palette. And I'm kind of keeping it lower in the outer V. And it is very pigmented, so I'm just going in with the tip of that same brush that I use with Magma and High Degree. Just going in with the tip, pressing it where I want it to be the most intense, and then doing a little bit of blending up into the rest of the outer V. Okay. And then I'm going to take the same brush into Magma again and go on the lower lash line. I'm going to go into Alloy, this shade right in the middle, with a small brush and put that on the inner corner and drag it over to the beginning portion of the lower lash line. That's pretty. So for my brow bone, I'm going to go into Silk. So I think I'm done with the eye. I'm going to do my mascara, lower lash, or my mascara and eyeliner, do my other eye, and we'll come back to talk about the face palette. Alright you guys, so here I am back after some hours with the eyes done. So here's what they look like. I think they look really pretty. We used 7 shades out of the 15, so we used almost half of the palette, just about half, a little less than half of the palette with this eye look. I think it turned out really nicely. Yeah, everything blended out nicely, and you know, got some nice color payoff and some nice duochromes popping off here. So yeah, I really like it. Now let's try this face palette. And because I'm using my studio light, because it's dark outside now, this is getting washed out. Okay, that's a better look at the actual colors of the palette. So what it looks like for us deeper skin toned people, that this would just be a straight up highlighter palette. 2 cream highlights, 2 powder highlights. It doesn't look like anything in this palette would work for us on our cheeks. I saw that there was a lot of commentary in her, you know, on her Instagram post, like, can you please come up with something that works for deeper skin tones? I had a lot of hope for her when she, you know, with these types of products. When she came out with the Bloom palette, I was so excited. You guys can look at my video on the Bloom palette. I was extremely ecstatic to see something that was so pigmented that it just seemed like, oh my gosh, it works for us. It works for deeper skin tone people, you know. And then everything else after that, I was like, so, I mean, the tan palette, I can use that as a blush. The Love palette, that cream, you know, product in the Love palette, I can use as a nice, you know, sheer, like, hint of color on the cheeks, but not as a full-on blush like, you know, lighter skin tones would be able to do. This one, this is basically just gonna be a highlighter palette. So I'm gonna go in, let's see, I'm gonna go with my sponge into this Bounce Cream Glow. I haven't seen a tutorial from her on how to, you know, how she recommends using it, but unless she's doing it on a deeper skin tone, it's highly unlikely that she's going to do it in a way that will be flattering on my skin tone. So I'm gonna pull my hair back. Got some of it, you guys can see it there. And I'm just gonna press this on to the cheekbones. And this is the one that actually looks more pink. So this looks like it's a drier formula. This is, I'm sure you guys are aware that this is a new formula for her cream products. This is a Bounce Cream Glow Bounce Cream Blush. So the other ones are, in my opinion, a little bit more emollient. So they have a little bit more of a, you know, sheen to them. The glow that you get in these products is from the color versus, you know, in the other ones there's a glow and there's like a shine, you know, just because of the emolliency, if that's even a word. But you guys can see that. So my hands are dry, but you can see that pink shift, that when I turn it, the color of that product turns pink. I wouldn't hesitate to try using this as a blush, but I don't know. I don't know how it would look all over the cheek. It looks like a nice pink toned highlight. Here's the Bounce Cream blush right underneath. Wait, come on, focus please. All right, so that's the blush shade and that's the glow shade. Do you see that? It's supposed to be a blush? Like where? What are y'all talking about? But when you turn it to the side, it turns like it's like a brownish shade, but looking straight on it, you can clearly see that that looks like it will be a highlighter on me. But then when you turn it, it looks like it's kind of brownish. So I guess I can see where it would get that blush connotation from for somebody who's a lighter skin tone. Like when Kinky Sweat was showing it, I was like, how did that in the pan turn into this like bronzy shade on the cheeks? And it did for her. So but of course she's lighter. So I'm gonna go into this with my sponge and see what happens. Okay. And this is a different side of the sponge that I'm using. So, yeah. So I went a little bit underneath the pink one, like right underneath, but a little bit overlapping, just because I wanted to see like how it would look, you know, if it was a little bit lower down on the face. And yeah, as we suspected, as most of us expected, it's just going to be a highlight. There's no way that there's going to be any type of blush on me. So just FYI there. So I would be more apt to use, like I said, the glow cream base as a blush versus the blush shade as a blush. Then we have the Super Glow Nude. That's this shade here. I'm going to take that with the Artist Small and just put that right on top of where I put the pink one. And blend out. All right, so it just brings the highlight, you know, to another level. I'm gonna go into the Super Glow Bronze, which is this, you know, bronzy shade there. And then just go a little bit lower than where we put that other one. All right, and so you're just really glowing. It's really pretty. I won't deny that at all. It's just disappointing that we can't get the same, I don't know, effect that, you know, lighter skin tones are going to be able to get, because obviously the colors aren't going to show up on us the same way. Okay, it's pretty highlighter palette. This is the one, this is out of all of the four, just based on my first impression, it's a little bit disappointing in that, you know, I could still get something other than highlight from those other palettes. And for this one, that's all I see is just a highlighter palette. And maybe I can try to work that one into being a blush. But it just seems unlikely. It's a beautiful highlighter palette, and at the same time I just wish we were able to get the same type of, you know, bronzy cheek effect or something like that. So yeah, and she's getting a lot of feedback in her comment section about that. Of course, nobody ever responds to the people saying, what about the deeper skin tones? Can you make something for the deeper skin tones? I'm going to go ahead and do this, you know, use this on the other side, and I'm gonna put some blush on, and then we can just, you guys can see the finished look. All right guys, so I'm back with, you know, the other cheek done, and so I just did the same process that I did on this cheek on this other, you know, cheek there. But I did for blush going with the Bloom palette, the pink, or you know, the red blush here. I went in with that. And then on the apples of my cheek, I did go back with the Bounce Cream blush, you know, in this palette, and just press that on the apples of the cheek just to see how it would go, how it would look, like if it would look garish or, you know, outlandish. And it doesn't. It looks nice, you know, it's got a nice pink glow, you know, to it on the apples of my cheek. So you can see that there. So, you know, nice highlighter palette. All right, oh, let me get you guys up close. What do you think about that? How's that? Some beautiful shine on the cheeks, beautiful glow. All right, you guys, so this is that's my first impression. So for lips, because like I told you guys, I don't have the lip glosses yet, I did put on this Pat McGrath Blitz Trance lipstick in the shade Flesh 3. So that's what this is. I figured, you know, it's kind of like bronzy, got a little bit of a, you know, metallic type golden look to it. So I thought it would go nicely with the whole aesthetic of the video. You guys let me know what you think about this look, and stay tuned for another one and more information on the lip Euphorias. All right, you guys, here is the second look with the eyeshadow palette and the cheek palette. So what do you guys think? The eyes. All right, and then the cheeks. No other blush or anything this time like I did on my first impression yesterday. So all right, so let's talk through this whole look. This is beautiful. I really enjoy it. I'm so happy with this look. Oh my gosh, I just okay. So groundwork paint pot first, and then I went in with suntan in the transition area of my lid, and it's a little deeper than groundwork. You could see in the demonstration how it just deepens it just a tad. So it'll be a nice transition shade for deeper skin tones like myself. And yeah, I think it works great as a transition tone, transition shade, and it is, you know, it has that hint of depth there that you could actually use it, you know, as a subtle, you know, everyday type of eye look. So use suntan all over the transition area, and you guys know how I like to do, adding a little bit more color right in the transition area right above the inner corner of the lid. So what we did there was went in with High Degree on a somewhat pointed brush, and just added that in that inner corner transition area and blended that out to fade into the rest of the transition area, and it blends out very nicely. It's a beautiful shade. Okay, it's a beautiful, you know, red metallic, like a reddish, you know, metallic shade, and it blends out so nicely. And so then I also on the outer V took Deep Dive, the one really deep deep shade in the palette. So this will be that outer V color for us women of color, or for us people of color, deeper skin tones. That's going to be the one shade where you can get that real, you know, intense depth in your outer corner, or however you want to use it. So of course I put it on the outer corner, blew it out a little bit more than what I did on my look yesterday, so giving that nice smoky effect. And then for the lid, taking some glitter glue like I always do with my metallics for my lid, putting that all over the lid up to the area where the Deep Dive stops, and then applying this beautiful duochrome shade right here called Bliss. And so what it is a pink that has a shift to a green, like a golden green shift. It's really nice. I wonder if you guys can see that there. So you can see that as I turn my hand, the shade turns pink, and then it's golden, like a golden green. It's really nice. So really beautiful shade. Put that all over the lid, and then because, you know, when I'm patting on the glitter glue, it gets a little bit on top of the high degree shade that we put down, the reddish metallic. So I went over that again with more high degree so that I can get a more intense, you know, red line there. And then so I just took high degree on my lower lash line as well. And then for that inner corner, I put True Bronze, the only chroma crystal in the palette. Putting on eyeliner, which is the Fenty Fly Liner, and then mascara, which is the Fenty Full Throttle Mascara, top and bottom, on the top and bottom lashes. And that is the eye look, okay? I think it is fantastic. Of course, between all of these colors that you were putting in the transition area and things like that, going back with your blending brush with suntan if you need to, or even just taking it with no additional product and making sure everything is blended out. But these shades blended so beautifully, so beautifully. So I really like this eye look that I came up with this palette, and so far so good. Okay, so good. All right, and then so for the cheek palette, I decided to do another, you know, try out with this. Maybe I was a little bit, you know, eager in my assessment yesterday. Of course, that was a first impression. But today, since I did say yesterday that I thought that the Bounce Cream Glow, because it has a pink shift to it, I thought it could be used as a blush, even though, you know, she has something in here that she's calling a blush. That blush, when you swatch it on my skin tone, it's just a highlight, a cream highlight. It's not showing up as a blush at all. But the one that's white in the palette with the pink shift, it shows up nice and pink on my skin tone. So I went ahead and took my sponge. I tried it with a brush. I got a little bit of color with a brush in there, but the real payoff for me is with the sponge. So I took the sponge and pressed that Bounce Cream Glow on the cheeks, on my apple of my cheeks and back, like you guys will see in the demonstration, and it gives a nice pink color to the cheeks. Now, it's not super intense, but you know, when you turn, you can see it and things like that. So is it a blush that you can see when I'm looking straight on? I think you can see it a little bit, but it's not, you know, as intense as a typical blush would be. But it is there, and I like the look it gives. I like the look it gives, especially on that turn. You can see that pink. I think it's really nice. So, and then I went on the cheekbone area, of course, with a sponge with the Bounce Cream blush to give the highlight, and on top of that, I went ahead and buffed in some of that Super Glow bronze, and that is what the look is here on the cheeks. So very pretty. And in case anybody's wondering about the lippy, I've got Pat McGrath here, Leatherette Luxe Trans lipstick. I think she might be discontinuing the Luxe Trans line. They're all sold out except like 1 or 2 shades on her website. So, but maybe I don't know, maybe she's not, I don't know, but it's Leatherette on the outer perimeter of the lip, and then on the inner area of the lip is her Matte Trans in 1995. So these 2 lippies here. So I think this look came together very beautifully. Thank you guys for watching this look, and on to the next one. All right, you guys, here is the final look for today. This is the 3rd look that we've done with the palette, and I really like it. I feel like I keep saying that. It's pretty. Talking through the look. So this is fairly simple, at least I thought so. Just going all over the lid with Magma and blending that out into the transition area. Nice and easy, simple to blend out. Of course, for my base, I had my NYX eyeshadow primer, then Groundwork paint pot on top of it from MAC, and then, you know, the Magma all over the lid, and then blend it out into the transition area. Also, for any of my looks, I don't set down the base. I don't set it with a powder, so FYI there. All right, and so then I took Beach, the lightest shade, the lightest matte shade in the palette, and I put that, you know, right above where I blew out the Magma shade, and then under the brow bone. This, it looks lighter in the pan than it actually showed up on my skin, so that'll be a nice transition shade as well. Some glitter glue, placed that on the center of the lid and went in with Gloaming, this shade here, and then pressed that up onto, or in the center, on the center of the lid, up through until the into the crease area a little bit. And then to define my outer V, I went in with Deep Dive, this shade that we've been using in every look, and I also smudged that on the lower lash line. And for the inner corner, I took True Copper on a pointed brush and put that on the inner corner. So my camera battery was going low, so I couldn't film the entire look. So the step that kind of got, that I, you know, had to pull my battery out and go charge, was that I went into the cheek palette, into the Super Glow Nude shade with a small brush, the same brush that I used to do my inner corner, and I just added a little bit of that, you know, Super Glow Nude right up kind of in the crease, so it adds a little bit of brightness, you know, when I close my eyes. And then I also, I forgot to say, is that I took a little bit of that Super Glow Nude right under my eyebrow to highlight that a little bit more, because like I said, that shade, what shade is that? Beach, it's not very brightening. It's not as bright as it looks in the pan. So yeah, and then there really isn't a really like light champagne shade of metallic or any other, you know, formula in here to use as a brow bone highlight, so I used the cheek palette for that. And then as far as the cheeks go, I did put down a powder blush today. It is the Colored Rain X Power, my Day One, the blush shade there. So I lightly put that on the cheeks, and then to add like a blush topper, I went into the Bounce Cream Glow, pressed that with my sponge on the apples of the cheeks and then into the highlighted area. So basically like a little swoop type look. And then over that on the highlight, like on my cheekbone area, I took the Super Glow Nude and blended that in there. So that is the look. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. And so for the lips, just in case you're curious, I used the Focused shade from Propa Beauty. And then on the center of the lips, I used the Artist Couture lip gloss in the shade Uncensored. So that's giving us the lip look that we have on right now. So tomorrow my lip glosses are supposed to be here, so we will do one more look, and then you guys will see, you know, we'll experience the lip glosses as a first impression together. So see you soon. All right, you guys, here is the last look that we're doing for this video. All right, so here you guys can see the all metallic look. All right, so what I did off camera was I lined my you know, upper lash line with Deep Dive, the dark color in the palette. I used that as a liner on my top lid. I went in with High Degree, the metallic reddish tone in the palette, went with that on my outer V, blended that out to make it like a smoky, you know, effect up into the transition area, blended out beautifully. I always forget to talk about my base. My base is just some concealer, not set down, okay? So my concealer. And then on the lid, I put my glitter glue down all over the lid, and then I went on the entire lid up until, you know, the High Dive or High Degree shade with Palladium, right? Palladium. this shade here, and that is a very nice shade. It looks deeper in the pan than it comes off on the lids. It looks like a nice rose gold type of shade, and that's here in the center, but I did go over the entire lid with it up through to the inner corner. And then at the last minute I decided to once again go in with Alloy, the shade dead in the center, and it's like a copper to like greenish gold duochrome shade. I went with that on the inner corner on a brush, and then I took with my finger some of that Alloy and popped that on the inner corner of the lid, and that combined with palladium turned into this beautiful orangey toned, you know, golden shade, and it's really, really pretty. So I did not expect that combination when I, you know, pressed it on to the palladium shade. So that's the look. Oh, and then I took True Copper right under the lash line. I know it's a little bit of a deeper shade than Silk, you know, so Silk seems to be, where's Silk? Silk right here. This one here seems to be the brightest of all the metallics. So that would be, you know, the shade that I would typically use on my brow bone. But I wanted to try True Copper, and it has a little bit more redness to it, more copper tone to it. And I think it looks nice, you know, under the brow bone. And I also took Rhodium, the purple, like, I don't know, like purpley, taupish, you know, duochrome shade. I swept that on the lower lash line, and you know, it gives an effect, but it's not as deep as it might show up on, you know, a lighter skin tone. So I like the palette, I enjoy it, and this is, you know, this look has further solidified my enjoyment of this palette. Now for the cheeks, I just did the same thing that I did in my previous video, or in my 2 looks ago, where I simply only used this palette. I didn't combine it with any other blushes. So on my cheeks, I've got the Glow Cream, or the Bounce Cream Glow for a little bit of pink, you know, a little hint of pink when I turn. And then I did the Bounce Cream blush on the higher points of the cheekbone, and then I went over that with Super Glow Bronze. So I didn't go in with Super Glow Nude today. I went in with Super Glow Bronze, you know, buffed that into this area, and that is the cheek look you're getting here. Now onto the lips. So these did come in today, the 3 Lipophorias that came out with this collection. And so let's go ahead and hop right in. We've got a light, medium, and dark shade, basically. So the lighter shade, or the lightest shade that she released, is called Tan Nude. I appreciate that it's called Tan Nude and not just Nude. Nude is different for everyone. So Tan Nude, and then it's a gloss and a balm. Here's what it looks like. It has the nice, you know, deep, rich bronze cap, and then the clear bottle, I guess, whatever you want to call it. This is Tan Nude here. Look at that. I can smell the mint in this lip gloss. Okay. Okay, so here is what this one looks like on the lips. It is okay. It is not bad, but it is not the greatest as far as just wearing it on its own, at least not in my opinion, not for me. So it's pretty light. It looks a little bit too light for me. I said to you guys that when I saw the swatches, or the, you know, the way these looked on the deeper skin model on Natasha's Instagram page, that it looked like they had on lip liners on, in addition to the lip Oh Phoria glosses. So I was very curious to see how these would look without a lip liner on my lips. I did write a comment like, does the lady have on lip liner? If she does, what color? But nobody responded. So the more I wear it, the more I'm getting a little bit, you know, I don't know, the more I like it a little bit more. I think my lips are providing more of a lip line, you know, a lip liner effect to, you know, the gloss, so it makes it more wearable. That could have been the same thing that I was seeing on the darker skin model on the, you know, Natasha Denona's page. Let's see about a lip liner. So I'm gonna use this number 44 lip liner from Bite Beauty. All right, so that just, it just intensifies my lip line a little bit more to make it a little bit more wearable and things like that. I am getting a little bit of gathering right in the inner portions of my lips. So I don't know if I applied too much or what. It feels nice on the lips. If you like a little tingle, then you're gonna get that from this formula. The mid-tone shade that she released is called Caramel. And this is what it looks like. Very pretty. Next to Tan Nude. Okay, there we go. Right there. Looks a little bit more reddish brown. Okay, let's do Caramel by itself. All right, so here is what this one looks like by itself. This is very nice, very easy to wear. You don't need a lip liner at all. On me, I don't need a lip liner. Let's see about applying some lip liner. Okay, so I like it with lip liner too. I think I said this in another video in my Black owned makeup brand video that I'm just a lip liner person. I like lip liner. It just makes it look so nice. I like this one. I like it. And then the last one, the deepest one, is called Chestnut. Show you what this one looks like. Very, very nice. Whoa, that is rich. That is a rich shade. Look at that. So I think it's nice that she came out with a variety, you know, 3 options, light, medium, and dark, basically, for the lip products that she released with this collection. I think that's nice. Okay, so this is the last one. So here it is, no lip liner. Yeah, I like this one too. I am not used to wearing, like, I typically wear like nude shades, like nudie pink, nudie peach, nudie brown shades on my lips all the time. So it's a little deeper than what I'm used to wearing. However, it is very pretty. I like the way it looks. And this is another one that you can just wear without a lip liner, of course, because of the depth and things like that. However, I think because it is deep, that if you are sloppy with applying it, then you'll have some trouble. For deeper skin tones, I would recommend this and the caramel shade. And if you like really, you know, light nudes and things like that, then of course you go ahead, go for the Tan Nude. The more you apply, the higher likelihood you're going to get some gathering of the product on the inner area of your lips, which is not fun. That's just what I noticed just sitting here talking to you guys. So but other than that, I think it looks nice. I don't see any patchiness with the color or anything like that. I think everything just looks smooth on the lips, so I like these. So overall, for the entire collection, my thoughts: 4 looks in with the eyeshadow palette. I like this eyeshadow palette. I know it's nothing revolutionary as far as the shades are concerned, you know, but the arrangement of the shades, the performance of the shades, it's just beautiful. It is beautiful. And I know it's a little bit more warm toned and things like that, and I tend to like a little bit more cool tones. Like, for instance, I don't care for the Sunset palette. Isn't that what it's called? The one with the red and the yellow and stuff. I have that palette, but it's not my favorite of the ones that she's come out with, I think because it is so warm. But this one, even though it is warm, it's really nice. I like it. I like it. I definitely have to say that this is my favorite of this size palette that she has come up with. This is her 3rd one of the, you know, smaller pan size, smaller palette size, 15 pan palettes. This is my favorite one. A critique for the palette would have to be that I wish there were more chroma crystal in there, maybe another chroma crystal. So she's only got one in here thing, because I like that chroma crystal formula. It's more like a topper, so you can add that to different shades to get a different effect and get more like shine, sparkle, things like that. But that's the only thing that I would have to say. Oh, and then maybe another deep shade. So she's got the deep dive shade, which is that dark purple. So if we had another dark shade in this palette, that might have been helpful as well. So the only option that I have with my skin tone for getting that really nice depth in the outer corner or in the crease, or however you want to use it, that really deep effect, is only with that shade. So, you know, for my skin tone. Now if you're a lighter skin tone, then you can use that reddish matte shade, and then you'll get that depth that you, if you are looking for that depth, magma. So, and then even suntan if you're, you know, lighter as well. So this is the only, you know, real deep shade that I have as an option, you know. So that's just, you know, those are a few critiques for the palette, but overall I think it's a very well done palette. So definitely my favorite of the three that she's come out with. But I do think that me doing the 4 looks with this has prompted me to want to do more with those other 2, just to verify that I like this one the best. All right, so there's that. Now for this palette, I did share with you guys my first impressions that I think this is basically just a glorified highlighter palette for if you're my skin tone. You know, it's a highlighter palette for deeper skin tones. However, I do like this Bounce Cream Glow shade here, as you guys saw in a couple of the looks that I did, that the shift on this, just on my skin, it looks like a pink, you know, a very subtle, I will say very subtle, even more subtle than the Love palette, a pink little blush topper type thing. So can you see the pink there? I don't even know if you guys can see the pink there, but it's there. So it just depends on if you want to spend your money on this and, you know, get that sort of pink hue to your cheeks. If you wanted to use something in this palette as a blush, you could get away with using that a little bit. kind of. It is unfortunate that we aren't able to, you know, get the full effect that other people can with this palette. I wish that she had come out with 3 versions of this. It is dark skin friendly, but as a highlighter palette, not as a blush, you know, a palette. Hey. All right, you guys heard my comments on the glosses. They are very nice, beautiful formula. Just don't apply too much, or you could get some gathering. And, you know, if you want to, if you like the minty smell, minty taste, or minty tingle on your lips, then I think you would be happy with this, you know, as long as you find a shade that you like. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure it's quite long because we're doing 4 looks and I've got comments and all that other stuff in each look, but I hope it was helpful for you. If it is helpful, definitely give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content from me, please do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button on your way out. If you want to stay in contact with me a little bit more, definitely check me out on Instagram. I do upload pictures and things like that throughout the week. So when I'm not uploading here, then I've often got a picture over there. So definitely check me out there. And I appreciate you guys watching. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Are you planning on getting this palette? Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it's boring? Okay, what do you think about the face palette? And definitely let me know what you think about how the products applied on my face, your favorite look, all that type of stuff. Leave it in the comment section. I'll get back to you. And I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.